Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Untitled Chapter number matrix AF190109. Today I will introduce about our project, which is noise pollution. Noise pollution is one of many other environmental pollution all around the world. The environmental evidence 2019 state the urbanization is one of the major drivers of extinction because it leads to physical fragmentation and loss of natural habitats. Noise pollution, or also known as noise disturbance, is the extreme sound that will harm the activity of human or other creatures like animals and biodiversity. Okay, next we will move to objectives. Our objectives for this project is to enhance understanding of the role of environmental engineers to assess the reality of the real method operation. Second, to build teamwork in our project as the practice to be future engineering that will face with many people. Next, to gain knowledge about the various situations or cases about environmental engineering problems. So, our aim for this project is, based on the noise pollution, we need to, as the safety officer of our company, we need to determine the feasibility of reducing exposure time as a method of reducing hearing damage for the worker that operating a high-speed grinder of the steel curtains for a high-rise buildings. So, we need to search about the development of the hearing protection devices technology in terms of health, safety, and environmental influence and impact.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Inta Umirawan binti Jufri, number metric AF990135. So now I will explain about the literature review for our group. Okay, now for the journal number 1. A journal by Harry Levitt entitled A Historical Perspective on Digital Hearing Aids. How Digital Technology Has Changed Modern Hearing Aids, that was published in March 1, 2007. The author's opinion on the evolution of digital hearing aids and how digital signal processing methodologies have led to improvement in hearing aid design is presented in this article. The impact of major milestone in the advancement of digital technology on the development of digital hearing aids is examined. Modern digital hearing aids are very different from analog hearing aids, and they have a lot of function that analog instruments don't have. In general, digital technology has a lot to offer in terms of developing improved hearing aids. Alright, so we move on to next journal. Okay, journal number 2, Digital Hearing Aids from the Perspective of One Consumer or Audiologist, is a journal by Mark Rose that published in January 11, 2007. The author's first-hand experience as an audiologist and as a hearing aid wearer is used to analyze recent improvement in hearing aids, the need of demonstrating the benefit of digital signal processing in hearing aids, as well as addressing cost-benefit ratio in light of the high cost of digital hearing aids, is emphasized. A hearing aid is not always enough. No discussion about hearing aids, particularly one focused on a consumer's perspective, would be complete without a concluding statement about the possible need for other types of hearing assistive technologies, as well as the inclusion of a routine hearing aid orientation, preferably group program. Any and every hearing aid, digital or analog, is basically a way of trying to reduce the problem caused by a hearing loss. Okay, so now we move on to the next journal. Okay, journal number 3. Bradley McPherson wrote a journal entitled Innovative Technology in Hearing Instrument, Matching Needs in the Developing World in November 7, 2011. This article considered the possible supporting role of innovative hearing instrument technologies in the provision of affordable hearing healthcare service in developing countries, and highlights the need for research that considers the requirements of the majority of the world population in need of hearing instrument provision. Hearing instrument provision should be part of a much larger effort throughout a society to raise knowledge of hearing impairment and how it can be prevented according to the WHO guidelines. Given long-term global demographic trends, research into appropriate hearing instrument technologies for use in developing countries, as well as how affordable hearing aid provision can be effectively integrated into existing community healthcare and social welfare service is becoming increasingly urgent. For the literature review, I could say that we are focusing on the hearing aids, the development technology of hearing aids, which really helpful in the health of the society itself. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.
My name is now Atigana Jovintinosam. I will explain about methodology in this project. In Malaysia, there are Department of Occupational Safety and Health under Ministry of Human Resources. The Occupational Safety and Health Noise Exposure Regulation 2019 have replaced the Factory Machinery Noise Exposure Regulation 1989 and start to take effect in 1st June 2019. This guide to assist employer or contractor on planning and implementing the requirement of the noise exposure regulation in their construction project. In 2019, there are 91% of reported occupational diseases that related to exposure excessive noise at work. The noise exposure regulation defines excessive noise as any noise exposure limit exceeding 82 decibel or daily resident noise dust exceeding 50% or maximum suppression level exceeding 115 decibel at any time or peak suppression level exceeding 140 decibel. In US, we have OSHA and NIOSH, Noise Exposure Limit. NIOSH, National Institute of Safety and Health, set noise limit is 85 decibel over 8-hour average. Meanwhile, OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, permit 19 decibel for all workers for an hour per day. Any exposure excessive this limit may be considered hazard or not safe. For shorter duration, the maximum limits are greater. For example, 2-hour exposure is allowed to a daily average noise level at 100 decibel. So therefore, we need to select a hearing device that be comfort enough to worker to wear for a long time and for easy for them to communicate with each worker. Selection of hearing device with high intonation is recommended to work in higher than 85 decibel per day. Intonation help overcome noise during work hour. It is recommended to select it based on the type of noise to be emitted and the degree of noise attenuation needed. For example, if a hearing protector has an effective attenuation of 20 decibel and is worn out noise of 100 decibel for 8-hour daily exposure, then the worker will be exposed to 80-hour decibel only. Inside, control noise work can help to reduce noise inherent hearing loss, induced hearing loss of occur. This includes installation of barrier, damper, vibrator installation, and do maintenance to machine and equipment all the time. Every worker has various sizes of head and ear and have different acceptance to a level of noise. This to make sure the hearing device is suitable and comfortable enough to wear for a long time during their work hour. High pressure and be located as near as possible ear to ear can help to reduce the noise significantly, but it could be a lot discomforting to the wearer, especially if it worn out for a long period. Active hearing protection device is involved with electronic to suppress noise from surrounding. Meanwhile, passive hearing protection device is not involved with any electronic device.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aiman Hakimi bin Razali, AF190147. So for the result and discussion, our group decide to choose earmuff as a hearing device suggestion to construction workers. So for this hearing device, it is made of thermoplastic or metal headband that goes over the top or back of the head, as well as a cushion at either end to protect the external ears. So for the efficiency of this earmuff is determined by the pressure applied by the headband and the cushion to head seal. So for this earmuff, it is suited to most individual, also easy to put on and easy to take off in a sanitary manner. So I think this is recommended for the usage in filthy environment. So these are the advantages and disadvantages. So it can reduce the variation in attenuation among users. So this is one of the advantages for the earmuff. Also, it can create in such a way that one's size suit most head size. For the third one is it is clearly visible from a distance to aid in monitoring their use. For the last one is it is not easily misplaced and may be worn in the presence of mild ear infection. But there are some disadvantages for this hearing device, which is a little bit heavier and less portable, more unpleasant in a hot or humid work environment, also more difficult to employ in limited work situation. It also may obstruct the use of safety of prescription glasses. So I think this is will disturb the concentration of the construction worker. Thank you.
Now, to conclude our project, the most effective method to protect hearing problem from noise exposures is to remove the noise source from the workplace or to remove the worker from dangerous noise, according to the expert of hearing loss prevention. NIHL prevention requires the implementation of certain behaviors present even while considering future health benefits. The use of hearing protection and justification given by workers are not wearing them consistently in the presence of sudden sound were explored in this research. Hearing protector education has traditionally been prioritized in the selection of HDPS, even to the exclusion of the properties that are just important than to be effective.